so sexy. Ooh, so
Oh,
sexy. Are you
oh my
feeling
God, wow.
sexy? Are you feeling seductive? Are you having a great Saturday on this day? I hope so, because my co-hosts are currently frozen in time, but I'm not. So we love
Wow.
that. Hello, my name is Project Ruby. Did you know? Did you care to know? I don't know why they keep freezing, but we love that. This is the
I mean, I
Just
think it's
Gaming
also
Tingz
that I'm just sitting
podcast.
still, or maybe.
Oh no. No, we are like super
Oh,
frozen.
now it's
Oh
just
well.
spin for some reason. Love
Well,
that. Well, this is the Frozen podcast where we give you updates on Frozen on a weekly basis.
of
No,
course.
just kidding.
It freezes on me when I look like a demon. Oh god.
You don't look like a
You don't look
demon.
like a demon. You
You're
take
just
that back
posing
right
for
this
the camera.
second. It just looks like you're posing.
Man.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little pose.
Okay, I fixed it. You're welcome. I promise there was no
appreciate it.
demonic activity here. The listeners are probably being like, what the fuck is going on here on this day? And to that I say, you clicked on the right podcast. It's the Just Gaming Tingz podcast. We clown, and we also bring you an awkward perspective on video games, gaming news, and sexy nerdy things. Ooh, so sexy. Ooh. I'm your sexy host, Project Ruby. Ooh. Hi.
Hi.
Joining me, we
Hi.
have
Oh, wow.
we have Dex. Hello, Dex. Are you feeling
Hi,
sexy
hello.
today? Ooh.
I'm feeling angry that my webcam flipped back.
Well, Spin, hi.
Hi.
Are you feeling
Hello.
sexy, seductive? Ooh.
I'm feeling like kind of like a non-corporeal but very sexual energy. Just like a force, you know? That's the gender of the day.
a forest.
Is like a force. Like a
Oh, a forest.
non-corporeal
I was like a
but very sensual
forest.
force.
Love that. I mean, there's a lot of wood
That's-
in forests, so that would,
Mhm.
you know, Anyway,
What are we doing? What is the energy we've created in the studio today?
It's just a sexy Saturday energy. Ooh. You know what's not sexy? Scams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what
Yeah.
our first story is about? Scams. Do you want to talk to
scam.
us about it?
Not a scam.
Allegedly. Yes, Finn. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into this cuz like
I think we should. I think we should have that conversation.
I wanted to call attention to this one as a very like youthful looking person who like does not show any kind of signs of age whatsoever,
Where is
and
this going?
also as a formerly licensed cosmetologist
Oh, okay.
who
Iconic.
knows stuff about skincare. Uh
So.
all right. So with that out of the way, Valkyrae, who's a YouTuber and streamer, gaming content creator, is facing criticism over a line of gamer skincare called Reflect. That the claim is supposedly that it protects and repairs against damage from blue light from computer screens. And the thing about that is that is not a thing.
Not at
Blue
least
light
from
from
screens.
Yeah, blue light from screens doesn't do anything to your skin. Like when we're talking about like protecting against blue light, we're talking about like eyewear because like it can have harmful effects on your eyes, and it's good to have like me and Dex both have our blue light blocking glasses on.
Mhm.
Not sponsored.
I look away.
Not sponsored because this is from the dollar store for like $5 to $10.
These are
Hey.
prescription.
I don't know where my prop glasses are. Oh.
Oh no.
Mhm.
My eyes are naked. I need to stop.
Oh.
Hate that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Anyway.
But okay, I couldn't find if like this is her line or if she's just a spokesperson for it. Um, I did not find clarification on that, and like the article that we have isn't like super clear on that. But I think it might be like her like line. But the thing is, like I do kind of expect like every kind of influencer to like have a line of cosmetics because like that makes so much money. Like even if you're not necessarily like a beauty influencer, like having some kind of cosmetic line is just a license to print money basically. So I get that. But like to make the claim that like blue light is damaging your skin and then sell things to protect from that even though that's like not a thing is just like what? And then like the
Sorry, just a little note.
the
Apparently it is her line
Mhm.
because like the brand
Okay.
basically said, inspired by Valkyrae for everyone who uses a screen. So I think it's like a collaboration situation.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just so weird and like I don't I don't know if like she knows that it's a scam or like somebody has told her this and she believes it and she's like wholeheartedly like marketing this, but like it's so wild. To me, it's like you remember when like golden skincare was a big thing like a couple years ago where like all skincare products had gold in them. And
Oh yeah.
it was literally just to make it more expensive because gold does literally nothing for your skin. It's just gold. And like I know I wanted to get y'all's kind of opinions on this because like I know you're not like necessarily going to be coming at it from like a skincare perspective, but I still like from the gamer perspective. And like we can get into a broader topic as like things marketed to gamers as a whole because like that is super interesting to me because there's like a whole industry of things that are specifically marketed to gamers. And 9 times out of 10 they're just more expensive with like RGB lighting in them.
Right.
So yeah, Dex, what are your thoughts and feelings and emotions?
Oh well, I think this part really sums it up. Where it was like a chemist and science educator, Dr. Michelle Wong, was just straight up like, "I like Valkyrie," but just responded with a nope under her tweet about if blue light from PC monitors could have a negative impact because like they literally said like you need days or months of blue light to do just as much damage as like 15 minutes in the sun. And like even then they said that blue light doesn't really affect everyone overall in general. Like that's not like the harshest like ray or whatever. Because like obviously there's ultraviolet and stuff, and like those are definitely like very bad. So it's just like I don't think blue light is gonna be damaging anything but your eyes. So I it just seems like another mess.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of the same thing that's been said. Like, because it from the now deleted tweet, Valkyrie said something along the lines of like, it was a team situation, and there was testing and samples and meetings and people guiding her along the way and teaching her along the way. So I'm not. I think the main thing to take away from this, and I know that like for the sake of drama, because we're queer people and we're dramatic, we started off as like, oh, this is a scam. But like, I don't think she would go out of her way to actively be like, yeah, let me scam my audience, because that's a great idea in the age of social media where literally if you're caught with something like that, your career is over, right? So like, I don't think, or at least there's a,
Although is it?
yeah,
Because like
yeah.
there's been like so especially if we're looking at the beauty communities, there's been so many people that have been like in these huge scandals for like horrible like scam products that they've sold their audiences and they're doing fine. They're
Yeah,
doing fine. They're still selling things.
right. Yeah. No, that's true. I think I don't know. Like that would be my first instinct. I'm like, I'm sure that I think in a situation like that, I feel like you could use to be like better informed. And like if you're not sure, but I mean, at the same time, it's like if you're a content creator, and if you're watching the YouTube version, by the way, Spin and Dex just traded places, so don't mind that.
I'm Dex now.
But it's
Wait.
I think like if a brand reached out to like me, right, and they were like, yeah, we want to do like a skincare collaboration with you, and they were like, oh, it's gonna be about this, it's gonna be about that, like I would be like, y'all are the experts. Like if you tell me and you claim to be an expert, and like if I do basic Google, like a Google research on you, and like it says that you are who you say you are, then I'm probably gonna believe you, you know. I do think in situations like this though, like I think it's a very, we could talk about so many things when it comes to this, which is why this topic is so interesting. Because like if we're gonna talk about it from the perspective of like influencers selling stuff to their like communities, then that's also a very dangerous line, because like, yeah, everyone needs to make a living, but at the same time it's like you can't just sell anything and just claim, like, because when you're selling it or when you're endorsing it, there's like there's a preconceived notion that you're using that product, that you support what the brand does, and all of that stuff. And so we kind of as the news kind of broke, I actually did talk about this on my own stream about like the skinny tea and like all that stuff that like influencers sell, when you're like, you know that like the Kardashians are not drinking skinny tea. They're going to the plastic surgeon, mama. Like they're going to the dermatologist, they're going to the plastic surgeon, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But like if you're going to the plastic surgeon, like literally just promote the plastic surgeon. Don't like go out of your way to be like, yeah, I'm like my I have my curves because of the skinny tea. Definitely not because of the sculpting and all of this like work that we have to do at the doctor. Absolutely not. So it's like, I think with influencers, like it starts as something small as like, oh, let me sell you like a game. And then you don't know if the person actually likes the game or not. And it kind of can evolve into something bigger like this, where it's like, hey, let me sell you skincare that will protect you against blue light from your screens. And then I can see how some people would be like, oh, okay, cute. I like her. I believe her. Sure, whatever. She wouldn't scam me. And I generally don't think that she went out of her way to be like, yeah, let's scam my entire audience. But this is just like silly to me. This is very like gimmicky, gamey things. It's like the gamer chairs. Like none of them are good for your back, and none of them are useful chairs. And like it's like gamer chairs are not like amazing office chairs, nor there are like optimized to be good for your back. So it's like they're just a fancier, less good for you version of like an office chair. So yeah, it's to me it's kind of a funny thing because I have nothing to do with it and I just get to laugh in the corner. But I don't think this is worth like, you know, people harassing her or like anything like that. But accountability is also not wrong. So, you know, if people are calling her out and making YouTube videos about how that's not how that works and stuff like that, then I totally welcome that, because people definitely need to be aware of that, you know?
Yeah, it just kind of reads like another entry in products for gamers TM that don't really make much sense.
Right, like the energy drinks for gamers, like so that you can do 24-hour streams. It's like, yeah, because energy drinks and 24-hour streams are both amazing things for you. Yeah, those are both proved to be amazing for you. Yeah, you should definitely do that. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I remember I got like my parents got like a little bundle of like skincare products for free, like because they at the grocery store or whatever, and one of the products was like a blue light cream, and I put it on, and I remember being like, is this gonna help my sleeping schedule? And Spin was like, I don't think that's how that works. And I was like, oh. And then I saw this, like, you know, I was like, oh,
I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah. I was like, oh, blue light products, they're a scam. And then I thought, did I get scammed? But like they didn't pay for it because it was like a little promotion thing. But I was like, is it a scam? was just kind of like, oh, it's a scam.
But I literally told you that it wasn't gonna do it.
I mean, yeah, maybe so. I mean, to be fair, it's like if you put on a face cream and like you go outside and stuff like that, like it does, it's not great, but it's a scam. That's just, yeah, it's not great. Just use a sunscreen
Well, I mean,
at that point.
yeah, it's like if it has like a good SPF, like if it's like a BB cream with SPF or like
Right.
something. But like a lot of those like BB creams with SPF, they don't have high enough SPF in them for it to even be worth it. So
Right.
like, yeah, just like wear sunscreen. new PSA, hot PSA for gamers. Wear sunscreen.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Oh my god. Yeah, do we want to get into our next story?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. I promise I will shut up after this one because this was also one that I brought.
Don't make promises you can't fulfill. You have another story. Don't scam our audience.
Oh my god. The Twitch streamer Spin Blend caught scamming. Anyway.
Well.
So
over.
I saw this story that Epic Games is basically ending an every other week 4-day week policy. And I know like literally every week we talk about like game industry and like crunching and like overworking and stuff like that. But like I saw this and I was just like because like for like during the pandemic they've had a policy where every other Friday their employees are off, so like every other week is a 4-day work week, and they're taking that away now and the employees are not happy about it, obviously. Basically the Fridays off kind of allowed it was made up for because like a lot of times Epic employees are working overtime on a lot of those other days because Fortnite updates all the time. So there are instances of crunch during those like 4-day work weeks, and having the extra day off kind of helps with that. Ideally, we would love to not see crunch, we would love for there to not be crunch at all.
No crunch and munch here.
Nuh-uh. But I don't know. Something about this is just, it feels really icky. And especially because like this was a thing that was like put in place during the pandemic and it's being lifted, even though we're still in the pandemic. Like people have been trying to say that the pandemic has been over for like a year and a half. Like ever since like July, August last year, I've been hearing people say, oh, the pandemic is over. No, it's still going. It's still going. Like people are still dying from it. And it's like, I just seeing all of these like things that went into place during the pandemic now being lifted is just so like worrying to me because like we're still in it. So I wanted to see what y'all's thoughts were on this, definitely. What about you, Ruby?
Yeah, that was my main thought about it. It's like one of the first things that was kind of a red flag was them being like, oh well, some people didn't get to use those days off because they needed to work those extra days, and so we took it away from everyone. But it's like, well, maybe you force everybody to take the day off, and maybe
you make the policy fair in the first place.
And yeah, and maybe you don't encourage crunch culture, because I think one of the things that people talk about with crunch culture is, and it really kind of, it doesn't piss me off, but like it's really annoying because it's like the people that are like usually on the side of like, it's as if they're on the payroll of the company themselves, and they're like, what about the people that want to work those extra hours? They're just passionate creators and they want to work those extra hours. Okay, here's the thing. That's fine. Like, if you want to work extra, that's a thing. I know that some people, and I know that came out when like there was some stuff about crunch with Naughty Dog where it was like, no, like they told us to go home, but we just didn't want to. Okay, whatever. But the thing is, as the company, as a manager, as the higher ups, you can't encourage people to have that behavior, because then people who don't want to have that behavior, they will feel pressured to, because at the end of the day or at the end of the week, in the performance reports, it's going to be like, oh, so and so, like all these people who crunched did a lot of the work, and these people didn't. What's up with that? And they're like, oh shit, I guess I have to crunch now so that I meet those expectations, or I meet the standards that everyone is setting. So as much as someone like isn't like necessarily well intentioned or bad intentioned, like someone just is like, oh, I have nothing else going on, or I really love my job, I'm just gonna stay here for a couple more hours, guys, don't worry about it. Like, as much as that's not a problem inherently, the people in charge have to be like, listen, you can't do that. Like over here in Portugal, not that everyone follows these rules, let's just be very clear, but there's labor laws of like, you can't do a certain amount of like, you can only do like 1 or 2 hours extra per day or something like that as like extra work, right? So it's like, okay, maybe put something in place where it's like, if you really, really want to, nobody's gonna force you to. You can stay just 1 hour. You can't work at home at it. On Friday, you're taking the day off every other Friday, like everyone else is doing. There's no work emails on the weekends, like shit like that, where like it has to be put in place where like people have to encourage the opposite, because if you're not saying, oh, that's good or that's bad, then people are just going to do it, and then the people that are not doing it are going to feel pressured to do it. And so people are probably going to be like, oh, that's on them, like they shouldn't feel pressured, peer pressure, whatever, like like no, like as manager, as like a, like whoever's in charge of the projects, like they have to be aware of the team's morale and stuff like that. And like, even with as many updates as Fortnite has, maybe someone is doing a poor job at managing expectations and how quickly their workers can get shit done, and maybe that needs to be adjusted so that they're not crunching on a regular basis, which was the reason they put in place the break anyway, because they were like, oh, we're crunching so much, let's, a lot of people are doing overtime, let's make it up to them by giving them an extra day off every other week. And then it's like, let's take that away because not everyone is using it. Like, okay, then make everyone use it. Like, okay. like And then of course, like, it's the whole thing of like, when the pandemic started, disabled people were like, I can't wait for all these things to be taken away the second the pandemic is over. People were like, you're so negative, you're like, oh my god, you're being so negative, you're like, why are you like this? And then it's like Spin said, the pandemic is literally not even over, and like people are barely vaccinated, and they're already like, okay, back to the office, okay, back to all these things that are not accessible at all. And it's like, oh, why? It was working just fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I can't work from home anymore. Like,
And
yeah.
like,
Anyway,
disabled people have been saying the whole time, like, oh, y'all could have done this the whole time. Y'all could have made it easier for us to like work, to get food, to like get access to things that we need. Y'all could have done this the whole time and everything would have been fine.
yep,
And you chose not to because fuck disabled people, I guess. Like,
right, yeah,
and it's not surprising at all to see it being just like completely taken away, even though like there's literally, we're still in the pandemic. We're still in the pandemic,
yeah.
you know? But yeah, that's capitalism.
Right.
Ding.
It's
Ding.
just, it's like the same way with like it, like them being like, oh, it was unfair because like some people would use it, but then some people would work anyways. But it's just like, it's, yeah, just make it more fair, like make everybody like take that day off. And especially because like later on they were like, oh yeah, like it was just gonna be temporary anyways. They already shut down 4 weeks out of the year in addition to staff's personal time days off, which 4 weeks is like out of like 52 weeks a year, like that's 48 weeks of work. Like that's not much of a time off. That's barely like not even a month full of like being able to
Mm.
like take time off, and nor do I really trust that that is fully true. But they were even said that like they like interviewed people by Bloomberg and were like, there was like a 90% approval rate to keep it going. So it's like you don't want to listen to your employees at all who are like literally majority like, oh, we like this system. Why can't we have it anymore? And it just sucks. And it's like I hate how much like everything is like reverting back now because like I was saying like how all these developers later on too like came out like after like Bugsnax announced their permanent 4-day week and then like another company announced that they would do the same and it just and then like they have their hours cut but like they still get the same pay so it's very rough to see that like the changes are just kind of reverting back and not being accessible to anyone and just companies not fully caring right now as they usually have. And then like lastly, like them like not wanting to like give money or like make raises or anything for like how like less they want them to work. But then they announced that the CEO got 5.1 billion in gross value last year, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Which you can easily disperse across your entire employment base. But you know, capitalism is rotten.
Yeah, literally. Like, oh,
So
Epic, the poor small guy going against Apple. Oh no! And it's like they're making billions, mama. And like
yeah,
this is how they're
They're
treating
not the
their
little guy.
employees. Like neither of them are
Yeah.
good.
it's like a multi-billion-dollar company going after like a multi-billion-dollar company. Like you can sit back down. Like they're not paying you. Like that's what I'll never get about people that want to defend stuff like that.
Oh, I
Like you're not
know.
getting paid by these millionaires and billionaires
Right.
and these big companies. So, like why are you gassing them up and like praising them so much for not even doing anything or doing the bare minimum? Like I'll never understand
Literally.
to this day why the people just defend them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so wild. Isn't okay, Ruby, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like 4 weeks off in a year kind of like 4 weeks of vacation in a year kind of the standard in Europe?
As far as here goes, it's I as far as I remember at my old job, it was like 25 days like a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we could choose for ourselves. And then the
Mm-hmm.
others, the company had the right to be like, okay, you have to do these days or whatever. And I think it's only 25 if you never skip work or if you never put in time because of like if you get sick or anything. But even then, it's like 20 something days that you get to pick. So I think it is something along those lines that you're saying.
God,
It does make sense. Yeah.
God, just being American and hearing that is just like, y'all get
Yeah.
vacation? like,
Right.
Right.
like, and like especially because like a lot of my work experience has been like low skill quote unquote work experience. Vacation time is just unheard of. So the fact that like people in America act that like 4 weeks of vacation is like, oh my god, we're doing so much for you, oh wow, like look at
Right.
us go. It's like
Bare
that's
minimum.
literally like the like minimum standard in like a lot of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. Like I
Congratulations.
think Europe
Wow.
doesn't even do 40 hours a week anymore. I think they just do like 30 something, which is not like okay, they just reduced by 2 hours or something. But even that, like it's they're kind of making it a little better. I'm not saying it's perfect. Um especially speaking of like Portugal specifically, our minimum wage is very low. But people who are rich, they're like, oh, Portugal is great, everything is so cheap, and everyone's like, yeah, because our minimum wage is shit.
Right. The
um
cost of living is low. That's why. Like,
yeah, it's like the cost of living is low for people who are like for people who get paid really well. So, like
right.
for people who get paid like the minimum wage, it's like, oh, we can barely get by, but okay, go off. um but yeah, it's just it's interesting to me seeing sometimes stuff that has to do with like American companies where I'm like, wait, that's not like a thing for y'all, like y'all just like live like that, like like that's just
Damn
the
bitch, you live
thing.
like this.
Yeah,
Right,
bitch,
it's just
like,
like stuff like that where like the vacation stuff, I'm like, wait, y'all don't just ask for like days, like, oh, I want that week off, and like you can take that week off and it's like fine. And I'm like, oh. Like stuff like that.
No.
I'm just like, oh,
The only
interesting.
time I could ever have days off, at least when I like worked at, Redacted Mart, I literally just had to be like, I'm literally not available this week because of like band, because of this, because of that. Like, I had
Right.
to have like a reason why I was not going to be there. Like, I couldn't just be like, oh, I want it off. Or like, I couldn't like go somewhere to say I needed it off. I just really just had to like always leave notes and say, like, hey, I can't work these days. Because like, for the most part, you could never do it yourself. And like half the time, like my HR manager wouldn't even like give me those days because they just quote unquote forget or something, and then I'd get in trouble for like not showing up when I asked to be,
Oh my
or I'd
God.
have to remind multiple times to take the day off.
Yep. Yep. That's literally how it is.
Yeah,
Yay, capitalism.
So that was
Everyone's favorite.
our weekly segment of how much we hate capitalism in America. Uh
Mm, in the world. Let's not.
in
It's
the world.
let's not say it's an
right.
American issue only.
But talking about capitalism, possibly spending money, Ruby, do you want to talk about the state of
Ooh.
play returns? How next Wednesday?
Ooh, yes. So in our sexy news of the week, Nathan Drake will be. No, I'm just kidding. State of Play is back, girlies. Next Wednesday, off the time we're recording this, so on October 27th, 2 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Europe.
Bitch standard time.
There's going to be a YouTube and Twitch live stream. Pew, 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 pew. And I think we're going to react to it. Yay.
I'll be there.
Yep. Here we are. So the expectation management is here. So let's not, don't piss your pants. Don't shit like some of our co-hosts. They're going to be focusing on announcements and updates for upcoming third-party releases. So there's not going to be any first-party things. And what that means is, for people who don't really keep up with studios and stuff like that, it's not going to be any Sony-made or Sony Studio-made games. So it's not going to be Uncharted. It's not going to be Spider-Man. It's not going to be The Last of Us. Anything like that that's like Sony exclusive, it's not going to be from them. So it's gonna be probably stuff like Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Weeby stuff, less Weeby stuff, but from a different third party that I can't think of at the top of my head. Oh, Sega. I'm wearing a Sega shirt. Sega, for example. So it's gonna be roughly 20 minutes. It's not gonna be. Let's just say it's not gonna be a Nintendo Direct type of situation. But they're expecting for there to be updates to previously announced games, a few reveals. So that's going to be pretty exciting. They have a pretty interesting little note at the end of the blog post, which has to do with people co-streaming and video on demand, which we look away. But it has to do with how there's going to be licensed music that PlayStation does not control. And that as much as they welcome co-streamers and content creators, they don't have control to the licensing agreements that are going to be featured in the trailers that are going to be showed at the broadcast, which made some people pretty upset, especially the content creator side of things. But let's first, I guess we can first talk about that part of the copyright thing. And then we can get into like maybe our predictions and hopes and expectations for the live stream. So first things first, what do we think about this little note on the copyright? Do you think that, are you on the camp of Sony should have known better, they should have made it so that everybody made every single trailer content creator friendly, or are you on the other camp of why should they care, it's their live stream, get over it?
It's Sony's a big company. They can do it. They can be like, hey, no licensed stuff, and we're good. Like it should be that simple. Like they're a big company, and they're gonna be like, at least releasing or being on their broadcasting, they are able to change that. And like if it's like licensed like music, whatever, like obviously you can just be like, hey, like, can you like change this prior? Because like I'm sure that they've like sent these in like a while ago. And like just to change music, you just have to like, just put a different file in, just cut it up, move it around, whatever you need to do. But it's just like I feel like Sony can manage to be like, hey, no licensed music, at least for our presentation, but you can do it for your own video because like, companies usually upload their own as well. So it's just like they can have like an unedited version on their channels, but then like have like the safe one for the Sony broadcast. Like I feel like it should just be possible to do that, but we know companies love to be irritating.
Yeah, spin.
Yeah. I kind of have the opposite opinion. I don't understand why streamers are getting all upsetty spaghetti about this. It's like, that there's a chance that there's going to be copyrighted music in presentations that you're co-streaming, and like you're co-streaming it anyway. Like it's not your content.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't like. I guess for people who don't want to get like demonetized and like have all the ad revenue from their video go to like UMG, I understand that worry.
You can always mute it in real time though. Like, oh, this
Right,
sounds
right.
copyrighted. Let me mute that real quick. Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
a lot of the
you can do
times,
that.
like, they did that with the Square Enix presentation for, I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy, where they were like, we have a content creator friendly one, and it was literally like muted. There was like no
And
music.
like half the music was muted.
So
but,
it's like,
honestly, it's just like my main thing is just that it's like sometimes music can really like like if there's no music, it just takes
It's
it out.
so awkward.
Because like
yeah.
because especially with like Life is Strange, like anytime they would announce Life is Strange, or if you were to play like a friendly one for like one of the Life is Strange games, it was literally just like no music.
Yeah.
Like you just have to mute, and you're just like, oh wow, they have this whole cinematic with very fitting music, and you can't listen to it. So it's just complete silence when you're watching somebody's video, and you're just like, this isn't. I'm not feeling immersed because there's no music going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like it would be nice to just have like copyright free music. It would definitely make it easier, but like I don't I feel like sometimes people are looking for a reason to get up in arms about things. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as much as like people trying to they're trying to find a problem to get at Sony at. I think it's honestly, and people are not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I think content creators sometimes, I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying sometimes content creators can be a little what's the word? Not selfish necessarily, not necessarily self-centered either, but
Entitled?
just entitled. That's the one I wanted. They're entitled to, oh, you're gonna have a presentation, therefore obviously content creators are gonna watch them, obviously this is for us, obviously it's for people's reactions. And it's like, as much as people don't love to hear this, like, we're the minority there. Like, the average person watching these trailers is not a content creator. They're not recording their reactions. If they are, it's probably like a phone clip, and it's probably going to go on their Twitter and whatever. It's not going to be a big deal. But, like, even with a lot of games, even if you play retro games at this point, like, a lot of the times the soundtracks are licensed. So, like, I know for me, my experiences of uploading videos from, I mean, literally both of my experiences, one from Chrono Trigger and one from Life is Strange, both of them went up on my YouTube, and both of them were like, hey, you can't monetize this, even though I'm not YouTube partner, so I wouldn't monetize anyway. But they're like, hey, you can't monetize this video. And like, Chrono Trigger is super old. Well, not super old. Let's not get. It came out a year after I was born, so it's not that old, obviously.
Me feel ancient.
It's obviously not that old because I'm still so youthful, but but you know, like I think content creators, I understand the sentiment, especially with a video game. It's like, yeah, I'm streaming this video game. It is promo for them. I understand that, but like, you're not actively promoting their live stream by co-streaming it. If anything, you're taking views away from them. So like, why would they be encouraged to be like, yeah, let's make it so that they're gonna steal our views? Which at the end of the day, reactions and conversations about these things do end up being free marketing. But I also don't think it's a big deal. Like, I think if the music got cleared for the trailer, there's chances that nobody is going to be looking out to DMCA take down anyone. So, like, maybe you're not going to make money off of that video. Maybe you're not going to, like, whatever. Maybe your VOD is going to be muted on Twitch. But I don't think it's, like, the end of your career. I think what you can do is you can actually record your reaction and not to get too technical here, but on OBS you can actually separate the audio track, so you can separate your mic from from like the music that's playing, and you can actually edit it afterwards, so you can make it copyright free, or you can mute it and just make fun of it for being muted in the thing. But
sing your own rendition of the song.
yeah, I think I understand. I really do understand, because like there's a lot of, it's a big industry as far as like journalism and live reactions and stuff like that. And I can, if Microsoft could do it, Sony could have done it. Like, that's a fair statement to say. But at the same time, if they're not doing it, you shouldn't be like, oh, how dare they. Like, we're not entitled to it at the end of the day. That's basically what I'm trying to say, right? It's like, it's their choice, and it would have been just as fine in my opinion, if Sony was like, hey, nobody's allowed to co-stream our video. Like, that's fair. It's their content. Like, they should be allowed to say that. Like, would that be shitty? Yeah. But would I still stream it? Maybe. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's their choice. It's their content. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
But as far as the sexy part of this news story, what are our thoughts, concerns, and opinions on what we could expect or what we want to see? Obviously, the Sailor Moon game is happening. Bandai Namco is going to be doing it. Yep.
The Sailor Moon game propaganda, as always. That's its own weekly segment on the show.
I need to manifest.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I totally understand.
I have to do it.
Like, I've seen some slight rumblings that there might be Final Fantasy 16 updates.
Ooh.
And if there are, I may or may not shit.
Oh no. Well,
I mean, we're not sure.
Remind me to have your mic
Cassidy,
muted. So we don't hear
shitting may or may not occur.
the shitting that will probably occur.
That's my hope. That's what I want to manifest.
I don't know video games. I'm not a gamer. I don't know what will be coming out. But I guess.
I mean, it could be something new. So like, if there's something you want, you could just,
I don't want anything.
Into the universe.
I don't want anything.
I'd say like maybe like a little bit more stuff on Saints Row, because it's literally about to come out in like 4 months. But at the same time, I'm just like, it's like a 20-minute presentation. Like, I don't know what they're gonna have in there. Like, I don't think they're gonna be much. So I'm not gonna have any conception of what might show up. So I guess we'll just find out as usual.
Yeah. I mean,
on the ground.
The funny thing about Spin saying Final Fantasy 16 is that I was literally going to start with, I'm not going to set up my expectations too high. And then Spin is like, we're definitely going to hear Final Fantasy 16 news. I'm
crying.
It does make sense that we would hear a Final Fantasy themed update / announcement, because we have Strangers of Paradise coming next year. Chaos. Something somewhere along the line, 16 is gonna happen. There could be a 14 related update because there is an update in the horizon, so there could be like PS5 optimized.
I
Ooh,
don't think they would. Just to let y'all know, I don't think they would ever have like a 14 thing at a presentation like this because I don't think they've ever have.
I think they did. Because like when
When?
they announced like the PlayStation 5 like optimized version, they did.
Well, they announced that, but like they don't have to update and be like there's an optimized version for Endwalker because
Yeah.
the game is the game. So I don't think there's gonna be anything for 14, especially because we like already got information
That's
recently
true.
and it's
Yeah,
coming
14
out
had its own
soon.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. 14's usually on its own.
Yeah, that's true. Unless they do some sort of collab with like a Sony property, that would be kind of interesting.
Maybe.
I think honestly I don't think you're too far off by saying Saints Row because that game is coming sooner than we think. Like I feel
We
like when we think
feel?
about like like if it doesn't feel like it's coming out that soon, but it's literally like not that long from now, as far as like months go. And these presentations usually go, we're probably gonna see stuff from like spring, summer next year. So I mean, definitely, I think Strangers of Paradise are gonna be there. I think Square is gonna invest in the marketing for that because whether or not the game ends up being good, at this point the game is basically almost done, or if not already done. So like they might as well promote the shit out of it. So I think that they will do it. I'm interested to see like what this copyright information could be about because it could either be like a licensed like property, like a game that's tied to like a movie or to an anime or to something that like they couldn't potentially get away from it because it's like copyrighted material in general. Which Sailor Moon, hello, probably not, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think there was an announcement not that long ago about what the next dark anthology game in the series is gonna be. So maybe we can see more of that.
Another one?
Yeah, I think they announced something like what the next one is gonna be about, or like something like that.
I thought they said this House of Ashes is gonna be the last goddamn one. They showed it in her face like 50 times.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I think I saw something, but I could be misremembering. But I think I did. I don't.
I hope you didn't.
If they do another preview of House of Ashes in this, I'm gonna scream.
No.
Could you imagine? It's literally out.
No,
I didn't even know
Spin.
it was out. They
No.
shoved it in our face, but then it got out. And I never heard of it, so it's so funny.
Oh my god.
But like,
Oh,
they're
no.
gonna be like, "Oh my god, House of Ashes is out now.
It's
Get
out.
It.
You can play it. Did
Watch
you
the
know?
lore propaganda for the 50th time."
Oh no.
Right.
I wonder if we're gonna get anything Konami related because they have been teasing revivals of this series that they have. So I wonder if we're gonna get something from that. Yeah, I think we're gonna get something unexpected. I don't think we should raise our expectations to be like, oh my god, it's gonna be the best presentation of the year. But we also don't know, and that's kind of what's exciting to me about this. And like same with Nintendo, and that's why I love these presentations, is that like there's like always an element of like something iconic could happen at any second. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we have multiple presentations where nothing really iconic happens, at least not for us. But we'll see. I'm very excited. We're gonna react to it. So I mean, last time we did a reaction, we screamed at Bayonetta 3, so I'm just saying.
I mean,
It's gonna be this squad doing it, right?
yeah.
We're all gonna be there.
Ooh, iconic.
Yeah, look forward to that this Wednesday.
Yes. Or if you're watching this later, it's up already, I think, maybe. Who knows? I don't know when you're watching this.
Possibly.
Look at the
maybe
calendar. If it's if it's the 25th, it's probably out. Anyways, you know what's also
Okay.
out? Ooh.
Some more information about Blizzard now. Is it about justice being brought to the people that have been causing issues? No. Is it any infrastructure changes that are going on in the company? No. It is about, a character getting a name change, just quirky things that we didn't see coming. Um, so, amidst the California's ongoing lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, which occurred over the toxic workplace culture, it was revealed that Overwatch character Jesse McCree was named after a Blizzard veteran of the same name who left the company in August. And as we went over before on who the real life McCree is, and let's just say Rodden. So they announced October 26th that the hero would be renamed, and we were, I guess, just more so like speculating like what it was gonna be, and then they were like moving forward, no Overwatch heroes would be named after real life team members, which should be like that in the first place. They don't name
Yeah.
characters after real people because then like shit like this might happen. And recently they announced that the name is going to be Cole Cassidy. Now, I have feelings about this, but let's just get through the rest of the article on what they said. The Overwatch Twitter account tweet said, the first thing a renegade loses is their name. And this one gave up his long ago. Running from his past meant running from himself, and each passing year only widened the divide between who he had been and what he had become. But in every cowboy's life, there comes a time when he has to stop and make a stand. To make his new Overwatch better, to make things right, he had to be honest with his team and himself. The cowboy he was rode into the sunset, and Cole Cassidy faced the world at dawn. The name Cole Cassidy will go live on Overwatch on October 26th. Now, as I am never a fan of Overwatch, however, I am angry that okay, let me just start off by prefacing that I hate a lot of games, and then I also hate that companies and like shows or like media in general that's like bad has like such good characters that are just get wasted potential. Like there's so many people in like Overwatch that don't have like fully fleshed out stories, or like they don't get anything, they don't get any good cosmetics or anything. And it's just Jesse McCree is one of them, and just this, like, I just wish I could just take all the characters in Overwatch out of it, away from Blizzard, because they do not deserve these characters. Just give them the fucking, like, basic Fortnite skins, and then that's what they're gonna be playing as. But I just hate that, like, they named one of the characters that I love after such a rotted man in the company. Like, please don't do that. Now, this name, I don't know how to feel about the name Cole Cassidy, but obviously it's because I'm used to his original name. But I guess it's just gonna grow on me. However, I am an avid Overwatch shipper, and I just want to let y'all know that the original ship, one of the many ships I love, is McConzo, but now because they changed his name, I'm a whole shipper now because Cole plus Hanzo, Hanzo plus Cole is whole. So I'm a avid whole shipper. Let me show y'all. So these are all Overwatch, apart from like these bottom two right here. You probably can't see it well, but that's Hanzo and that's Cassidy. So there's Hole right next to each other.
There's Hole.
There's Hole.
There's Hole.
There's Hole. So yeah.
Oh my god, the title of this episode is gonna be Dex Shows Hole, not clickbait.
Dex shows Hole. Literally, like I'm shouting Hole. Please respond. Like, so yeah, it's a mess that I'm sad that his name changed, like, had to happen because like you shouldn't be doing that shit in the first place. And like Cole Cassidy is such a name of a mess. However, maybe we'll grow on into it, and maybe we'll get some more whole shippers. Let's just say that. So let's pray. Let's pray for these damn characters, and let's get on with our lives. But how do y'all feel about this fiasco of a time?
Honestly, before I even saw the actual name, I saw a goof about it and how it sounded like Cassidy, like, you know, Caucasian audacity. And
Yes.
when I saw the name under that quoted tweet, I was like, "Yup, Cassidy." So that's unfortunate because this character is a daddy-o. So like I'm like very unfortunate. Very unfortunate name. So sorry to say. But also it kind of represents this situation perfectly. Caucasity, you know? Like
Mhm.
instead of fixing all of the issues in the company, let's do this thing, which they said that they were going to do anyway, and it's different teams, different things, I understand. But it's not actually not funny at all. But it's interesting how Blizzard is literally doing everything in their games to fix the issues in the company through the games, but they're not doing it in the actual
With the
company
actual
itself. Like they did in one of their games, I think it was WoW. They took off some like portraits of women, and they were like, oh, since the team or like some people or some employees can't take care of or they can't treat women properly, nobody can perceive women now. And like they took away
literally.
portraits that had women in it and stuff like that, and now they have this where they renamed the character, which it's fair. I do think it's cute when a character is named after like a developer. I do think that that's cute. I like it's a cute sentiment. It's like a little Easter egg. I do find that very cute, especially if the person has a very like big connection with the character or if it's inspired by them, whatever. Um, I mean, one of our
But
favorite
it is.
characters is inspired by a real life person. Did you know that Kirby is actually the last name of a lawyer that helped Nintendo of America win a case? Um, Fun facts here with Project Ruby. So I don't have an issue with like naming real life people, like characters after real life people, because I do
It's
think
just
that
know who it's about. Like know who it's
yeah,
named after,
I do think that they
basically.
did a good decision by like changing it. Like, okay, we don't
Yeah.
stand by this decision. Like, we don't want our character to be inspired by that person that did all these things. So like, that's good on them to do that. But it's very unfortunate that Activision Blizzard only does these changes in the games while the
And
teams making these changes and the employees making these changes are still not being treated well. So it's like it's a very like odd, frustrating situation. Um, but I mean, Cassidy is hot. I'm gonna look at artwork every time it pops up on my timeline, and I'm gonna
can't
see
wait to see
it.
whole artwork on my
Ah!
timeline. I'm already seeing enough whole as
Ready for the
is.
whole pics?
I'm ready for the whole thing.
Are you ready for the whole pick spin? What do you think?
I am. The thing is, they were kind of backed into a corner with like the name. They either would have to like get rid of the character or change his name. So I understand the name
Yeah.
change, but
Mhm.
Cassidy, tell me you don't have any people of color on your team without telling me you don't have any people of color on your team. Like, was
That's
what
like
that
the thing
immediately.
too, because like my main thing is like McCree's like nationality is like ambiguous. Like I don't think he's a white person. Like let's just say that I don't think he's white. He's very like ambiguous. So it's like I just hate that it's like this basic ass white ass fucking Cassidy ass name for him. Like what world? In what world?
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it's a very cowboy sounding name. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
It's very yeehaw. It's
it
very
checked one
cowboy.
box.
Yeehaw, yeah.
Y-E-E.
True. I could go on about how cowboys were very much not white, but okay. I
Right,
will save
yeah.
that for another podcast.
Just like a lot of other things in popular culture and media.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know about this name, y'all.
I don't know about it either. Like
Oh
I
no.
I've said it, obviously I have. It's like I like the meme of just like the ship name now being whole, but it's just like I just don't like this name as a whole right now. No
I
pun
I did
intended.
see, like, literally right before the podcast, I saw a tweet about the ship name now being whole, and I was just like, you know what? this is correct.
You
Yeah.
This is
already
right.
know.
hmm This feels correct. So on that alone, I approve of this.
Literally, it's just because of the ship name for me.
They could just have a different last name, and if the first name is Cole, I don't mind that because that's pretty yeehaw. But just Cole Cassidy, I don't know about that. Literally any, not any last name, but a lot of other last names could be, I feel like, just as yeehaw and probably better. And we could have had Hole all along.
Right.
So
The thing
it
with
could,
the first name too is that somebody brought up a good point where there's Ash and now there's Cole. So it's like Cole and Ash. Like the, Cole. like
we have
Miami
Cole and Ash, like Cole,
and
like Ash.
Yeah. Ash and Cole and Ash. Like the rock
Mhm.
and the dust. Yeah.
Mine and yeehaw. Yep.
The fire, the thing that causes fire, the thing that dust from fire. Yeah.
Well,
I
maybe
just-
pickaxe. I don't know.
situation. I don't envy the situation they were in, but still, this is. Oh boy.
They need a little workshop. They need like a high class. We're gonna have a little workshop on like how to make not Cassidy names. Okay.
Honestly, it would have been cute if they. I know the internet would have had a field day with it, and not for the best reasons. But I feel like they could have had like a thing where people could submit names, or they could have like a poll, like different choices of names, and people could have chosen.
Right. Like
Yeah.
give it like a girls, not Girls Planet. Give it like just like a K-pop survival show in general. Like just.
Not Girls
Just
Planet.
where they can like submit ideas and then they're just like, oh my gosh, like we really like these, or like these were the most popular, we can go with this one.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, which one would y'all like? And then just have like a worldwide poll or whatever. I feel like they could do that, but they're like, we can do it ourselves because we're white people. We know what we're doing. And then they get this girl fucking Cece ass, like Miss Cece, okay.
Oh, Cece. The only CC we stand is the Miss
Pizza.
Caption girly that provides us our captions for
That sometimes gets what we're saying wrong, but she's doing her best.
She's doing her best. We love her for it.
She can only do so much when 3+ redacteds all speak at once, scream, make all the sounds, say all the things that are not, grammatically correct. And they, she's trying her best. Miss CC is trying her best.
Oh.
Well, that's it for our news. That's it for the news for the week. The news stories that we picked to talk about. Let us know what you thought in the comments, in the chat. Let us know. We would love to hear your own thoughts, concerns, and opinions on what happened this week.
And Hole.
Ooh, do you ship Hole?
Let's talk about Hole in the chat, y'all.
Let's talk about holes. How do you like your? No, let's not do that. Let's talk about video games, shall we? The video games that we're playing, the things that we're experiencing. So Spin, what are you doing?
I'm so addicted to Cookie Run still. I literally, I have a hard time putting it down. I check it obsessively. I'm gonna, finish the game at this rate, and then my life is gonna be over because I'm not gonna know what to do.
Okay, question. And be honest with us.
Uh-huh.
Did you check Cookie Run in the last hour?
Not during the podcast.
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay. So there's still hope.
Not that being the question.
purely only because I have chat on my phone. That's the only reason.
Never mind.
Don't give me too much credit.
I wasn't gonna, but I'm just kidding.
Excuse me.
What else have you been playing?
been playing a lot of Cookie Run.
I
Cookie Run. No,
I
but I've been also doing Animal Crossing. I did some Animal Crossing on stream the other night. It was lovely. Okay. I want to kind of get y'all's opinions on it as as people who like have a lot of experience with my Animal Crossing island.
oh god.
Do you think everybody would riot if I restarted my island someday
Yes.
with a new theme?
I will.
Okay, I don't think there's gonna be a riot. There's gonna be clowning. You're gonna get clowns judged and torn apart for it. But yeah.
I know it's your game. It just like my main thing with people was just being like, I want to restart my island, like restart the game. I'm just like, you're gonna like I can't imagine people just restarting the game so often. Like there's been some people that I've heard that have restarted the game two, 3, 4 times. And I was like, I get y'all are having fun with this game. Good for y'all. But it's like, why are y'all so happy about like I'm gonna like restart with like freaking weeds and like a piece of a freaking tree and I'm gonna start all over and get all these shops all over again. Like I could never.
Yeah, literally the only thing that is stopping me from like putting a bow on the Yeehaw Land saga and just starting anew with a new theme is Norma and Tipper. I would be very sad to lose Norma and Tipper.
As you should.
Okay, suggestion. You can finish the chapter of Yeehaw Land, but not restart the game so that your villagers stay. And you can make it like, oh, we're rebuilding a new island, like a new theme, and everyone's helping out. We're taking out, we're taking away all the build.
Yeehaw Land.
You can't change that.
No, you can't change the name of your island.
Well, we don't have to look at the name.
Right? Yeah.
Just make a sign and be like, it's called Katana Land or something. I don't know.
But I would want new villagers for a new theme is the thing, because like all of my villagers are themed. Okay, here's what I could do.
I love that this is just the brainstorming for your own content. I love that. I love that.
I could move Norma and Tipper to my off-stream island so they still exist. And they're still in love and they're still gay. I could do that.
Or you can just pretend that you left them in the island in Yeehaw Land, and in your canon, they're still living happily ever after in Yeehaw Land. And then whenever you move on to the next island and you make them roommates in the DLC, roommates, wink wonk, you can just be like, oh my god, it's so good to see you again. Oh my god, it's been so long.
I will be definitely making a vacation home for them so they can be beautiful and gay and have their own little house. I want that for them.
Wow, and that was brainstorming session 101 with Spin Blend.
Anyway, Ruby, what have you been doing? Listen, you asked.
I asked what you were playing. I didn't ask for a meeting.
I didn't ask for a meet and greet.
I'm gonna be emailing you my invoice for the consultation fee. No. What I've been doing, well, I'm so glad you asked, because I haven't really been doing anything new at all. So I'm still playing Chrono Trigger. Getting to the end of Chrono Trigger. Do you know my favorite game, Chrono Trigger? So I'm getting towards the end of that. I'm pretty sure I said that last time I was here. I forget if I talked about Back for Blood last time I was here, because I think it was before I partook in the tournament.
You haven't, or it was like the day after you didn't?
Yeah, because I didn't.
I don't remember hearing about it.
Okay, so iconic. So if you heard about it, suck my ass. If you haven't, here's what I did. So I played Black for Blood. That's actually one of the few things that I've played that are like new. Friend of the pod, Ready Set Ben, was invited for a tournament to be a team captain of a Back for Blood little tournament when the game came out, and he asked me to be a part of it. And so me, Donut Tart and Psyche from Team Rainbow Arcade joined Ben, who's also a member of Rainbow Arcade, and we actually won the tournament.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, no,
Professional gamers.
iconic in every way. Listen, everyone, mostly everyone was playing it for the first time. I'm pretty sure. Only a few people played the beta, which we did have a teammate. Dona may or may not have played the beta and was giving us a lot of strategies and lots of advice, so that was good. But no, like the game is really fun. Like my experiences with Left 4 Dead, which people are like comparisons. Well, it's the same. It's a lot of the same people that worked on that. They're working on this. Um, my experiences with Left 4 Dead were very limited. Like I played it a little bit. I found it to be chaotic. I oftentimes didn't have friends to queue up with, so that made it even more chaotic and less fun for me. Because multiplayer games for me kind of suck when I have to solo queue, because that goes kind of against the purpose of multiplayer for me, especially someone who grew up in like the couch co-op era, right? I'm used to being with other people when I play multiplayer games. So playing with friends, it's super fun. Like the characters are all very like fun. They have fun banter. It's a very nicely a very nice group of characters, pretty diverse group of characters at that. Everyone has different roles that they play in the teams as well. There's like a really fun deck building mechanic to it, so you can like there's like a card, you have like a deck, and then you can have cards and you can choose which cards you want, like if you want to be more of the healer, if you want to be faster, whatever roles you kind of have, you can kind of adapt the gameplay to match your play style. So I found that to be kind of iconic. I played the campaign a little bit, and I've played the multiplayer mode, which I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's basically you take turns between being the survivors and then being the creatures, the infected, they call it. And basically the team who wins is the team that lasts longer. So you basically like team A goes and they survive for like 2 minutes, and as you're the infected, and then they reverse the roles, and then you become the survivors, they become the infected, and then you just have to survive for a second longer than they did, and that's really fun and it's exciting. You can always try different characters, especially the infected. You can try them, like if your character dies, you can always respawn as a different character. It's really cool. There's like a pooling system as far as the like upgrades go as well, so you can upgrade other infected, like there are like NPCs and stuff like that. You can upgrade certain abilities depending on what classes you're using. I thought it was super fun. I'm not gonna say it's like game of the year. I forgot to disclose the fact that I did get a code to play the game for the tournament, so there's that. But yeah, I had fun with it. I play it casually. I've played it I think once after the tournament, so I played it a total of 2 times with friends, and it was fun both times. I had a great time. I do think that they default you to like the in-game voice chat. I have my voice chat automatically like by default off, so like we didn't have any issues with that. But for anyone who's a content creator, make sure to add friends like off camera, because if you have your Xbox account and you have your actual name in there, you may not want that on stream or on video. So just be careful with that. Not the doxing on this day.
PlayStation.
But like other than that, I had a great time with it, and I would totally recommend. I think it's on Game Pass as well. So if you would like to try it out, and there's other games on Game Pass that you would like to play, you can totally get Game Pass and you can give it a try. If you don't like it, you can download something else. Sexy. I mean, the characters in the game, the male characters, I see the male cakes. I see them. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. That's my Back for Blood review. Dex, what have you been playing?
Well, I played Super Monkey Ball for literally like 10 minutes yesterday, and then I closed it because I got irritated.
Oh no.
But I've mostly been playing 14 because an event started to grind Lugal Tomes, so you can get these like nice cool little items. So I've been grinding that on all my characters this week, and I'm gonna do that until my sub runs out, and then I'm gonna chill, maybe play some Animal Crossing until my until Endwalker comes out, and then I'll be back with that. And what the fuck else did I play? Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's all.
I love that. I did get back into Animal Crossing. I did the update and the. I guess I didn't really talk about it on the podcast either. And I'm not gonna get into my thoughts, feelings, and concerns on the update because y'all already went at it last time.
Oh, yeah.
But the update announcement really kind of motivated me to kind of get back into it and be like, yeah, it's been a while. Let me just play. And then like whenever the new update comes, my island is not going to be ridden with shit. Because by then hopefully it's fixed. I'm not playing it every day. I played it for a couple days and then I stopped for a couple days, and I'll probably pick it up at some point. The sad thing for me is that I'm pretty much like late afternoon / evening gamer, and there's not too much to do in Animal Crossing at that point, only because like I like to check the stores, I like to talk to everybody, and depending on what time you boot up your game, sometimes some of the villagers are asleep, some of like the stores are closed and stuff like that. So by the time I end up being like, oh, I should play Animal Crossing, I look at the time and I'm like, oh well. And I know I can always manipulate the time on my Switch, I understand. But it just feels weird, like playing Animal Crossing. It's like bright in the game and it's like daytime, and then you look outside and it's like dark and it's like nighttime. So like for me, I'm like, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't match. So I'm actually excited for that feature where you can make it so that your villagers go to bed at a certain time. I don't know if that applies to stores as well. But I'm intrigued to see how that's gonna change, because that's pretty exciting to me. And that feature that they had where you can visit other islands, and it's like different weathers, different like times of the day, so you can like explore and do other things. So that's pretty exciting to me. We're still figuring out the DLC situation, all of that stuff, but yeah, iconic things all around. So, Spin, where can people see the results of our wonderful brainstorming session? Where can they find you? What content can they look forward to?
Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/spinblend and also on Twitter at spinblend, where you can find me playing Animal Crossing and Phoenix Wright mostly these days. I'm also a VTuber, and my VTuber Lynblend has her own YouTube channel at Lynblend. I also have 2 big things coming up. One I'm right smack dab in the middle of. Spin Soap Cafe is having an anniversary sale event where most of the soaps are buy one, get one. So that's at spinsoapcafe.com. And then next Thursday on the 28th, I'm going to be hosting a Halloween fashion show with some friends in Animal Crossing. So definitely look forward to those.
Yes.
What about you, Ruby?
Well, you can find me saying the F slur on my channel at twitch.tv/ProjectRuby. I can say it, it's okay. Just don't clip it and potentially have those clips play in other people's channels. Yeah, but don't worry about that. You can find everything at Project Ruby, Project Ruby Gaming as well on YouTube. That's the channel where I upload a lot of my gameplay, let's plays from the live streams in which I sometimes say the F slur in. And it's a great time. Currently in the rotation, we have Chrono Trigger. We're finishing Chrono Trigger. My favorite game, Chrono Trigger. We're finishing that soon. TM, we're starting Parappa the Rapper, allegedly. And last but not least, Animal Crossing. I've kind of added that to my rotation. I've had a great time streaming it. Super Monkey Ball I also streamed. Just don't look at that VOD just yet.
I don't look to reminisce.
Just watch. You can watch it if you're gay. You can watch it. You can also say the word, so it's okay. Just don't think too much about
Straights
it.
do not interact with that VOD.
You can interact, just don't share it on your own socials because you don't want to
I'm saying
promote
straights.
that.
Straights don't interact.
They can. They can't laugh too hard at me saying
So
it.
anyway.
But what about you, Dex?
Okay, you can find me posting whole capital H on my Twitter at DexisArise, and you could catch me possibly at some point streaming on Twitch at Dextralicious, talking about some whole content or playing a game, and then also my YouTube VODs, which do not have whole, at Dextralicious as well.
No hole in the YouTube.
No hole
So
in
sad.
YouTube. Not yet. Well, there might be a little hole, just not together.
Depending on what artwork your webcam captures that day. Well, everybody, if you made it this far, thank you so much for bearing with our clownery. If you're watching the YouTube version, you're welcome for the artwork in Dex's background that's currently being showcased. But yeah, if you made it this far, feel free to click on the follow button that you see, the subscribe button, the like button. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a little review and a 5-star review at that to help us with the algorithm, because obviously more people should listen to us, because why not? The world has too many straight people talking about video games. Let's be queer and talk about them. So share us. That's it for the week, y'all. We'll see you on Wednesday for the reaction for the State of Play, where we're going to get the Sailor Moon game for sure. And of course, on Saturday with our thoughts, feelings, and concerns on that and all the things that happened that week. Bye.
Yeah.
Ooh.